Hello, and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. It's really good to have you here with us today, and I'm so happy that you are, in quotes, letting me into your space. How is 2022 going? How is it on your end? I hope you had a beautiful week, this past week. On my side, it was quite exciting. Yes, because we went to Silverbird TV for the interview. On today's show, yeah, we had the opportunity to tell more people about my new book, Husband Material. That's it, right there. And it was really interesting. Got to talk about it, highlight some of the interesting things in there, the value you stand to gain when you get it from and so on. So, yes, it's a good time to tell you if you haven't gotten this book yet, go ahead and get it. Especially if you plan to get married sometime in this life. All right. So, last week on Common Sense for Relationships, we talked about the right start. And in doing so, we touched on goal, vision, and strategy. And remember, we want to summarize that very quickly. The goal is the end, what you want to see at the end of the whole process. And the vision is when you have a mental picture of that goal. So you build in some extra stuff, have a dream, have a vision about it, you know. And then strategy is your game plan, how you intend to achieve your goal, how you intend to bring your vision to reality. Yes, okay. So let's talk a little more about this whole goal thing, relationship, vision, aspirations, and all of that. I can imagine some of you have New Year resolutions when it comes to your relationships. I hope you do, even if it's not like, okay, this New Year you wrote it down, but at least something that drives you, something that you're working towards, something that you are aspiring to achieve. I mean, it's a journey of continuous development. So, yes, we all need to be working towards something, regardless of the stage you are at in life. You need to continue to aspire to be better, to get to that best version of yourself. So, welcome once again to Common Sense for Relationships. And today, it's just me and you. So, when it comes to goals and dreams and aspirations and plans and visions and strategies, what would be the best way to start? Do I just pick up a pen and start writing? Or come up with, let me see, a quick thought? What are the first three things that come to mind? Write it down. Or ask around and say, hey, what's the in thing this year for all of us to work toward and so on? Is that how to go about it? What would be an interesting way to go about it? What would be an effective way to go about it so that you achieve your goal at the end, so that you get to that desire at the end? What would be a good way? I would like to copy somebody. And shortly, I'll tell you about that person. I'm sure you're wondering, why on earth is she trying to copy someone? But yes, it's important. If you see somebody doing something good, really good, by all means, feel free to adopt some of their strategies if it will add value to you. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you now who that person is. And do you want to guess? Is anyone guessing? Let me see if I have any comments so far. Is anyone guessing? Is anyone guessing who I am planning to copy? Who I am going to suggest to copy? All right, I'll tell you who. The number one creator of all time, the one who made the heavens and the earth, the one who made you and me. Yes, I'm planning to copy God, and I'll tell you why I want to copy God when it comes to this stuff. Number one, God started with a decision. So that's one good thing we can do. Start with a decision. What is your decision? God's decision was, let us make man. That's how it started. Let us make man. And he went ahead and worked, developed that decision to the point where you and I are here today. But you see, he started with a decision. So even when it comes to your life, to your relationships, to your dreams and your aspirations, you have to start with a decision. So really, what is your decision? So it could be, my decision is I am going to get married sometime soon. You decide when the sometime soon is. Or my decision is I am going to remain single so that I can be, in quotes, a more productive person. I don't want the distractions or the extra load that comes with family. And hey, really, it is an extra responsibility. Just in case you think, oh, I'll just get married and I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, how I'm doing. Responsibilities come with marriage. Responsibilities come with building a family. Okay, so if you think there wasn't any, there are responsibilities. Please take note of that. And if you think the best way to be productive is to do without getting married, then yes, that's your decision also, and you can run with it. Okay, so God started with a decision, and hey, it was a good decision. It was a successful decision. You can see how it played out. And yes, I recommend start with a decision. Decide what you want. I want to get married. I don't want to get married. I want to have a happy home. I want to have kids. I want to this. I want to that. You make your decision. That's number one. Number two, I'll say, come up with your design. This design part is almost like coming up with the mental picture. It's like building from the decision, flesh it out a little bit. What do I want to see? Okay, come up with that design. What was God's design? I want to. He said, "Let us make man to be like us." That was the extra detail, to be like us. And in that sentence or in that statement, there's so much packed in there, to be like us. So I want to get married, for instance, to dash 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 dash. You fill in the blank spaces. You define what you want that marriage to look like. You define what you want your life as a single person to look like. You define what you want your friendships to look like. Define it. Next is purpose. He didn't just say, let us make man to be like us, full stop, and that's the end of the show. No, there was an extra step. They will reign over the fish of the sea and so on. So there was a purpose. So what's the purpose for what you desire? What's the purpose for getting married? What's the purpose for remaining single? What's the purpose for whatever your decision is? What's the purpose? You need to know what the purpose is, because that will guide how you do a lot of things. That will determine what you focus on. That will determine how you use your resources. You need to know what the purpose is. What's the purpose? And that purpose will also guide you in the choices that you make. So it's really important for you to define the purpose. Okay? Now, something else. Action. Action. So it would have been incomplete for God to just say, let us make man, now image and our likeness, let them do this, that, and that, and then God will go to sleep. In fact, if the next verse was, and God rested, then it wouldn't have been complete. But you had to have the part where He actually made man. He created human beings. So that was the part where He took action. He did something so that what was first a decision that had the extra details of a design that was fleshed out by purpose. Now there was action to bring it to pass, to make it happen, to make it become a reality. So it doesn't just end in I want to get married this year, for instance, or I want to have a stronger relationship with my husband, or I want to have a happy home, or I want my children to do well, and so on and so forth. It doesn't just end there. You have to work it. You have to work it. You have to do something to realize that desire, that dream, that goal, that vision. You have to take action. And God took action. He made human beings. And you know what? It didn't even stop there. Okay? It didn't even stop there. Because he went further to do QA/QC, quality assurance and quality control. Or like overlooking, looking at the whole process. What is it? How is it? Do we need to fix something? Is it all right the way it is, and so on? And when he looked at everything, he said it was good. And then somewhere further down, he said, "Oh, it's not good for man to be alone." So he did something about it. So even in your relationships, as you're building, as you're growing, as you're exploring, as you're doing all the stuff that you are doing, stop and check. Is it going well? Am I getting there? Is this the path I should be on? Is this the right person? Do those reviews, do those checks, do your QA/QC. Don't just get on one path and just go blindly without thinking, without analyzing, without checking. No, you need to do some QA/QC too and make adjustments where required. So, with that in mind, I want to ask you a few interesting questions. Number one, what do you really want? What do you really want? Really? Have you asked yourself this question? Have you sat down to say, what do I, what do I, myself, me, what do I really want? And yes, when you say, what do I want? It's easy for someone to quickly say, oh, you're just going to go down the selfish path, and just go me, myself, and I, and so on and so forth. There is the tendency for that to happen. But in talking about what do you really want, I'm talking about the personal angle to it. The part where what you are defining as what you want, as what you want to work towards, as what your desire is based on a personal conviction and not just popular opinions or trends or suggestions from people who are making the loudest noise around you. No, but based on personal convictions. And there's so many things that feed that personal conviction, right? What are the things that can influence, that can shape your personal convictions? Your experiences, the things you have learned over the years, what you have been taught in school, what you see on social media, what you have read and believed in the Bible, what you hear in church or your place of worship. All of those things build build into your personal conviction. So yes, think about it, analyze it based on all that you have accepted to be true, valuable, worthwhile, good. Put all of that together. Now, based on that, what do you really want? Define it. Write it down. I want this kind of marriage. I want to have a happy home. I want to be free to express myself to my husband without him feeling intimidated, for instance. I want to be heard. I want my opinion to be valued. I want to be appreciated for what I do. I want this and that. I want to have a say. I want whatever it is. Say it. I want to not do anything. I wonder if that is somebody's desire. I want to be rescued. Maybe that's another person's own. I want to marry an extremely rich person so that I don't have to work another day in my life. Possibly another desire, whatever it is, just go ahead and define it. Put it down. What do you really want? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your relationships with people? What do you want for your marriage? You need to be able to define all of these. Now, the next question I'll ask is, why do you want it? Why? Why do you want it? I want to get married. Okay. Why do you want to get married? I want to get married this year. Why do you want it to be this year? I want to get I want to get married in 5 years' time. Why? Why? I want to settle down. I want to have children. Why do you want to have children? Write it down. You need to know the why. Because those whys are important, those reasons are important. They motivate you, they drive you, they keep you going. And sometimes by the time you review your why, you see that, hey, I'm thinking small. I need to scale this thing up. I need to go beyond just the me, myself, and I phase. I need to go beyond that to the place where I am adding value to others, where I'm a person of worth, where it's not just about me, myself, and I, but there's so much more. Okay? So why? Why do you want what you want? It's important. Why do you want kids? Why do you want to get married? Why? It's really important. Now, the next question I'd like to ask is, what are you going to do about it? Like God took action. What are you going to do about it? What action are you going to take? What steps are you going to take? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit down and assume that everything will just work out fine somehow? Is that what you're going to do? Is that going to be your approach? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to wait for someone to connect you before you find the love of your life? Or will you do something about it? Will you go out? Will you take action? Or are you going to ask another person, hey, do you have a sister somewhere or a brother somewhere who you can link into? Those are all different approaches. But if those people do not help, will you at the end of the year, for instance, say, oh, I didn't get married this year because no one connected me to anyone? Are you going to leave that weight, that important decision? Are you going to leave it on someone else? Are you going to delegate that whole task to someone else? Or are you going to take responsibility and do something about it? If you have been going to the office and coming back and going to church and coming back and you haven't met anyone, is there something you can do differently? Is there something you need to change? Is there an approach you need to change? Do you need to speak up more? Do you need to start conversations more? Do you need to say hello a little more and then go from hello to some conversation that gets people to know a little about you, or at least enough to know that you are interesting enough for them to want a follow-up conversation? What are you going to do about it? What actions are you going to take? Because really, we all have to take action. If we are waiting and expecting that things will change when we haven't changed anything, that's insanity. If we're expecting that the desires we have will just fall on our laps without any effort, without any contribution on our part, I think we should think again. I think we should review that expectation, because it may leave you disappointed at the end of the day. But we need to take action. We need to say, hey, I want this and I'm going to work towards it. It's like when you want a job, for instance. I want a job. And you're going to just chill at home. This reminds me of when I came back from my master's. I was feeling all important and, like hot cake. Oh, I have a master's degree, distinction and all of that. So I was thinking, oh, in fact, people are going to be looking for me like hot cake. By the time they know that I'm in the country. So I sent my application letter to 10 companies. And I was just sitting back at home expecting that within the next few days I'm going to start getting letters, please come, please come, please come, please come. See, I did not hear back from even one. And that is me, oh, with my 2-1, with my master's, with distinction, with everything, feeling like hot cake. But even after writing the best letters, I didn't get any response. So, do you know it's possible for you to be so wonderful, yet nobody approaches you with a marriage proposal? Nobody comes to ask you out. Do you know it's possible? Because you can be so good, but nobody knows. You can be so wonderful, nobody knows. How will they know? How will they know? How will they know if you don't say something? If you don't let them know? How will you let them know? Say hello. Start that conversation. Hi, how are you doing today? Oh, you look nice, by the way. Oh, I like your shoes. Really cool. Where did you get them from? And then from there, oh my goodness, this elevator, sometimes it takes so long to get to the floor or going to, or the queue. Why did they just get an extra attendant so that this line moves faster? Something, talk about something that will not be offensive, of course. Start from there and then, try to find things in common. Where do we go from here? Start. Just do. It's like an elevator pitch. I was asking some people the other day, is there an elevator pitch for relationships? Talk about elevator pitch where, let's say, you're a small business and you're looking for sponsorship or partnership or something, and then you happen to be in the elevator with this person that can make your dream become a reality. What will you say in the few seconds on that elevator that can make this guy say, you know what, here's my card, call me on Monday? So, what can you say to people? What can you say to interesting people that you see that can make them say, hey, you know what, I think I would like to have this conversation again. Can I call you? Or can we meet at so place? Or where's your church? Can I come? Or something, just something for that second connection to happen. Is there an elevator pitch for relationships? Think about it. And yes, if you agree there is, then maybe you should craft one for yourself if part of what you desire is to get married sometime soon. Yeah, that would be something really good for you to do. Okay. Now, in my book, I need to say, in my book, right, I highlight some of the things you can do, especially for someone who feels I'm all that and no one is coming my way. What can you do? I outlined some important strategies that you can adopt if you find yourself in that situation. So I advise you to get a copy of Husband Material because you will find some really juicy tips there that can help you. Okay. And if you have already found someone and you're wondering is it the right person, yes, the workbook will help you. The workbook will help you to know how to assess, analyze, evaluate what strategies are you going to use to be able to come to the decision of is this the right person for me? Yeah, very important. Very important. And just in case you feel, oh, I am flooded on every side, I'm overwhelmed by suitors. Oh, I have so many women around me, I don't even know which one to pick. Yes, the workbook will also really help you. So I encourage you to get a copy of the book and the workbook for yourself and your friends, for everyone you know is at a point in their lives where they will soon need to make this really important decision about marriage. We want to get it right. We want to get it right. We don't want to get in there and make mistakes. We don't want to get in there and you need to run right out, right? You want to get in and be happy. Yes, there will be challenges. It's a given. In every venture, there are challenges, including marriage, right? But while you are facing the challenges, it would be nice if you have someone on your side that you feel like we're in this together and we are fighting this battle rather than the whole world is against you and then right in there where someone is supposed to be in your corner, the person is also against you or both of you are against each other. That would be terrible. Home needs to feel like a safe place. Home needs to feel like somewhere that once you walk in and you close the door, it's like, ah, I am loved and I am accepted. I am appreciated. I am cared for. The people that are looking out for my good, for my interests. I am protected and so on. So yes, I encourage you to get a copy of Husband Material. If you haven't done so yet, please do. You'll find it on Amazon, you'll find it on Goodreads, you'll find it on Okada Books. You can also go to my website www.anietie.com and just follow the link to place an order if you haven't done so yet. And it's a good time to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so either. So thank you so much for being with us on today's version, on today's edition of Common Sense for Relationships. And yes, don't forget goals, vision, strategy, and don't forget the approach God used. Start with a decision, building a design, and then from the design, go to purpose, define the purpose, then take action, and then from time to time, do a QAQC, do a review. Make sure everything is going the way you would like it to go. So I hope you've had value today. And if you have, please let us know. Leave some comments, let us know. Send feedback, let us know. Send an email, let us know. It's usually good to hear back from you. Thank you so much for being on this show today. And I wish you a wonderful week. God bless you. Remember, common sense is not so common. Bye. Good night.